Welcome back to Bespoke Addict. I've got another rather fabulous pair of shoes which are listed on eBay UK at no reserve. And these are 1970s Gucci alligator skin loafers. Or the alligator or crocodile. Just let me remind myself. I'm just looking to see if I can see any sensory hair scars. No, these are alligator skin. 1970s, just fabulous things. Classic Gucci. The Gucci have been making this style, I think, from memory. It was 1953 that they first made this style with a split toe, with like an apron front. And they do it in various skins. More often than not, they're in regular calf skin. And crocodile and alligator is extremely desirable, and sometimes you get them in lizard, or they just have an alligator apron and the rest of it is regular calf skin. But these are full alligator skin. They've got the original, still got the original Gucci soles, original Gucci heels. There's a little bit of wear to the rubber, but you can see these have not been abused. And I actually purchased them from the widow of the original owner. And she said they were in the US. They travelled quite extensively, and they were in the US and they visited a Gucci store, and they had a pair each, male and female, sort of alligator Gucci loafers. And this was going back. They've got to be 45, 50 years ago. These are, she couldn't remember, but she said it was the mid-70s. And but these things are difficult to date because it's a classic style. It's remained the same since the 50s. Even today, they're exactly the same. Sometimes these bars have got a link in the middle, and it bends in the middle. Sometimes it's solid like this. Just I think that dates it slightly, but they're fabulous things. But they're actually just a little bit too big for me. They're too wide. I wear a UK 9.5, and I would say realistically these are around about a UK 10. Somebody who uses a UK 9.5 with broad feet could definitely get away with these, or even somebody a UK 10 with fairly slim feet. That what you'd find is the feet would go more into the end, and it would sort of pull some of the extra width out. But I'll put the measurements with this. The measurements are on eBay, and so is the listing number will be with this post. Fabulous things. Now there's on more modern ones they have a little brass plaque on the bottom that reads Gucci, and it's held in with tiny nails. I can tell you from experience that pings off. I've had Gucci shoes in the past and you lose the thing. Sometimes it's stamped in. On these it's not, and whatever was stamped inside's worn away. There's no size markings. There's no Gucci stamps. There's no Gucci stamps or markings, but I've got no reason to disbelieve the story of the widow of the original owner, that they bought these from a Gucci store in US. They had a pair each, male and female. But she said obviously her husband survived. Hers were long gone. She wore them to death 40 odd years ago, and they didn't last long. Her husband wore these more sparingly, and they're still here. But they look extremely shiny. They look polished. They're not polished. I've nourished these. I've cleaned them with alcohol because they were quite dirty and a bit squashed and dirty. I've cleaned them with alcohol, and I've nourished them with sapphire leather cream of a pale brown, much paler than the brown they appear here. And I've just dry buffed them. There's no polish. You don't put polish on textured skins or exotics. It doesn't polish very well at all, but they do look as if they're polished because they're so shiny. But that's the nature of well-nourished exotic. It buffs beautifully, and it appears to be polished. But there's no damage to these skins whatsoever. Let's just bring it up quite close. There is no damage to these skins. They're in amazing condition. There's no alligator is dreadful for separating between the scales if it gets dry, and this hasn't. And I believe what's in the construction of these, I believe there's like a fine canvas or something like that adhered to the back of the Alligator. Just so Alligator with no sort of strengthening. It honestly, truly, I've got so much of it, and it's very rare that it doesn't crack and fall apart. But obviously, if it's being held together from behind, if it's reinforced, you know, it will perhaps be much more like this, and just not split, crack, and damage. Yeah, beautiful things. Let's just have a really good look at this one as well, close up. It's an autofocus, so I have to bring it in very slowly. There we go. Give the camera a chance to focus. So this is where it would rip, where they tear here if they get dry and brittle, and they also tear around the heels. You know, this is where the damage first occurs in most instances, where the shoe's under tension from the heel. You can see he's not been driving in these either. If somebody's driving in them, the heels get all scuffed. It's usually actually due to the grit that get dragged from the heel and the soles onto the carpet. Then you've got grit in the carpet and the heels are kind of rubbing in that grit, and it does make a dreadful mess. These have not been driven in. There would be definite evidence of scratching and abrasive evidence. But yeah, the skins are just beautiful. Very soft, very supple. I'm not sure if we already looked inside this one, but they're just lovely things. But they're just, ultimately, they're too wide for me. I can live with the length. The length's a fraction too long. I'm a 9.5. If they were a slimmer fit, I'd probably keep these. But they are quite broad. I don't know what the size width is. You know, I'll put the measurements with the listing on eBay. But they're eBay UK at no reserve, and they will find a home. And I'm pretty sure they'll get enjoyed for what they are. Classic Gucci styling. Nick Cave wears classic Gucci loafers every day. He always wears black, and he wears them in alligator, he wears them in calf skin, and mostly snake skin, actually, python skin. But they're this styling exactly the same. And even today, if you look at a brand new pair of Gucci, the nailing pattern is exactly the same. You know, the sole work, and it's the signature sort of the way every maker has their own pattern they're not sort of random or arbitrary the way they put these nails in. Any maker, all makers have their own pattern. And I've been looking at brand new Gucci loafers today and looking at the photographs very closely of the pattern and that's definitely original. It's still the same pattern. You know, today they're making, these were made in the 70s, some 45, 50 years ago. But yeah, it's clearly the same makers using the same templates. And yeah, these will find a new home that they're much better enjoyed than I'm able to do. So I can't enjoy wearing these because they're simply too wide. If they were a lace-up shoe, I could pull them that bit tighter, but you can't get away with that with a loafer. Much though I love these things, the classic styling. I will never wear them. I'll just never wear them. I won't miss them because I've never worn them.